What's going on, everybody? Hello, hello, hello. How we doing? I hope everybody had a fantastic day today. Welcome back to episode 4 of the Bravo cast, and man, do we have some stuff to talk about today. Something I really never thought I'd be sitting here talking about and want to talk about, but Scream is in shambles right now. And it's kind of killing my whole vibe, I just met the cast of the original Scream. I was riding the Scream high, and then all of a sudden, all this news starts coming out, and it just completely shook me to the core and a lot of fans to the core. I mean, it came out of nowhere. So in case you've been living under a rock for like the past week now, I believe this whole catastrophe's been going on. We're going to talk about everything that's been going on with Scream 7. I'm going to give a little blanket warning up front that throughout the stream, I'm going to be talking Scream spoilers. Like, I'm just going to be talking about Scream and what I want, my response to everything that's happened and what they could do moving forward to maybe try to save the franchise. So if Scream spoilers are like a turnoff for you, I'm just going to give you a warning. Like, I'll try to give warnings when I'm about to say something spoilery, but this is just going to be an open discussion talking about Scream in general, the franchise. So I'm going to have to talk about things. I'm going to try to keep spoilers and stuff to a minimum, but there's like a couple key points that are spoilers I'm going to have to talk about. So there's your warning up front. Like I said, I'll try to remember to give warnings as I'm talking, but we're going to hop right into this. I feel like a lot of people know by now, Melissa Barrera, the new lead of the Scream franchise, because they wouldn't pay Neve Campbell to come back and be Sidney, got fired for making supposed anti-Semitic comments, which right up front, I'm going to talk about this too. I am not well informed on the situation that's going on in Israel. I don't want to get into that. I literally know nothing about it. I'm gonna just be honest. Like, I fucking know nothing about it at all. I don't. So I don't have an opinion on anything going on over there, and I'm just not gonna get into that. I'm just looking at this from the perspective of someone that is a massive fan of the franchise. Scream is like, it's Star Wars, Batman, and Scream. Those are like my franchises. Those are my babies. So I'm speaking from that perspective, and I'm speaking strictly from just a movie fan perspective. That's really it. I think the firing was horseshit. I think it was completely unjustified. She didn't say anything worthy of even remotely, like, it was just a huge overreaction, in my opinion. Just despicable. Like, horrible treatment of Melissa Barrera. I read her like posts that are supposed to be controversial, but I didn't really see anything controversial in them. It literally looked like she just said that genocide and killing is bad, and silencing anyone is bad, and on a blanket, just face level, like, yeah, that's all true. Like, she didn't attack anybody. She didn't go into specifics and say this group of people were bad, these group of people were wrong. Like, she just was talking. Like, I didn't see anything wrong with what she said. And not to open this can of worms, but like when Gina Carano got fired for The Mandalorian and Disney, that I understood. She said some things and brought some things to the table that you just don't bring to the table, especially when you're a celebrity like that. So the Gina Carano thing, I at least kind of understood a little bit. I understood it. But this, I was like, this is just out of nowhere for no reason. Like, I don't know what they're doing. Like, you're just firing the lead of your franchise for really nothing. Like, to me, the only way that someone could justifiably be just fired without second thoughts from an acting position, directing position, whatever, is if you say or do something genuinely awful that hurts people. I She didn't do that, you know? She just didn't do that. Um Ezra Miller is a great example. Like, he physically and mentally put people in pain, or they physically and mentally put people in pain. The Flash still came out. It bombed, yeah, but like the Flash still came out. You know, they'll probably replace them, but you know, like if we're looking at it like that, like it's insane to me. Um, yeah, I just don't agree with it on any level. I think it's terrible what they did to her, and I loved Sam as a character. And coming off of Scream 6, I thought she was the MVP of that movie. I thought she was fantastic in Scream 6. You know, people had problems with Sam in Scream 5, which I disagreed with. I still liked her in Scream 5. She wasn't my favorite character in Scream 5 by any means. You know, Dewey was my favorite character in Scream 5, and I really liked Chad and Richie. But she was still good in Scream 5. She had an intriguing story and bloodline, we'll say. And they really just amped it up a notch in Scream 6. And I thought she did an amazing job with that performance and just handling that movie, carrying that movie. I thought she was phenomenal. Sam became one of my favorite characters in the franchise. You know, she doesn't touch, you know, like the holy trinity of Scream, or, you know, some of like the OG characters like Billy and Stu, but she's like right there. Like, she's definitely like an A tier Scream character. You know, maybe after Scream 7 she would have been an S tier. Like, I really liked what they were doing with Sam. I thought she was on a really interesting path, story wise, character arc wise. Like, I was really excited to see where she was going to go next in Scream 7. I thought they've built a really nice foundation for her character where they could take it in a bunch of different directions. She's like a very different final girl. You know, they didn't just try to make another Sidney after they disrespected Neve Campbell. They genuinely made a new interesting character to lead the franchise, and then just going to shit him out, you know, for no reason. So I think that's pretty terrible. And as a fan, I'm very disappointed that we don't get to see how her story continues from here. So yeah, I mean, I just, it was shocking. I don't want to be dramatic, but it like kind of ruined my night. When the news came out, I was sitting there and I was just thinking, I was like, what the fuck, man? Like, what? Like, why, like, why is this happening? Why God, why? Like, it was crazy out of nowhere. It was like, not on my bingo card. Not on my bingo card. I could not believe what I was reading when I saw that on Twitter or X, whatever. And then, you know, the next day, we find out that Jenna Ortega is also gone. Now, this might be kind of a hot take, and I don't want to sound like disrespectful or anything, but like, I was never crazy about Tara. Like, I think Jenna's a great actress. Like, I think she does a good job, but I just never really connected with her character too much. Like, out of the core four, she's easily my least favorite. So it still sucks that we just don't get Sam or Tara when they were built as the two new like faces of the franchise. So I don't know where we go from here. You know, we'll get into that a little bit, but it's just like, and like everything just crumbled within 2 days. You know, you lose your two leads for a movie you were supposed to start filming in early 2024, had the script done, and now all of a sudden you don't have the two leads of the movie, and you have to rewrite the script because you don't have the two leads of the movie. So in the span of 2 days, everything just went to shit. Now we were hearing a lot of rumors for a while that maybe Jenna wouldn't be able to be in Scream 7, or her role would be very, very limited just because of how busy she is with Wednesday and Beetlejuice 2 and whatever else she's got going on. So there was already kind of rumors that she might not be in the movie much, if at all. So her not being in Scream 7 wasn't a shock, especially after the Melissa thing. I was expecting it. Even if, she left for scheduling reasons, which I kind of believe. Because that's been a rumor for a while. And then I think maybe if they found a way to even fix the scheduling for her and Scream, I think the Melissa thing also would have probably just been another like, yeah, like I'm not coming back. So it's just insane. It's insane to think about. Um I feel bad for the new director Christopher Landon because he came in to take Radio Silence's place because Radio Silence has been busy. They're working on a bunch of other films too. Um, so he obviously signed on to make Scream 7. Seems like a pretty big fan of the franchise and just of horror in general. And he comes in and he loses his cast pretty much instantly. So I feel bad for him. I don't know. That's tough. I don't know. Um, I really like if I was him, I really don't know what I'm thinking and what I'm doing right now. Because you sign on for a movie and then all of a sudden the movie is just gutted. So where do you go from there? Um, Obviously they're writing a new script and everything, which again we'll get into. But yeah, just overall on the Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega thing, it's shocking. It's upsetting. I think they actually were doing very interesting things with both of their characters and their relationship. And, the end of Scream 6, it's like a good ending, I get. Like, I don't know. Like it's a good ending, but like, there's more to come. You know what I mean? Like looking back on it now with all the news that's come out, like Scream 6, I guess, is like a decent ending for their characters. But when you know that this was supposed to be a new trilogy, it's hard to be satisfied, because we know that there was more to come. We don't know what was coming, but it blows, man. It blows. There's no way around it. Like it's just bad. Um, it's really killed all of the buzz around the Scream community, the positive buzz that's been going around. And obviously most people are very upset. Some people want to boycott the franchise, which, I understand. I'm not going to that extreme, but I have been deflated a little bit. I've been brought back down to earth. Um, and yeah, it's really, really unfortunate. Um, Scream is known in the horror community as like one of the strongest franchises in the genre. There's 6 movies. All of them are pretty good. I think 3 isn't that great, but compared to some of the other, horror sequels and other franchises we've got, Scream 3 isn't like that bad in the grand scheme of things. So like I always thought Scream was like the most solid franchise of all of horror. Like I genuinely love 5 out of the 6 movies. And then 3 is just like not great to me, but it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. So having this go on is kind of concerning because there hasn't really been like crazy drama in the Scream franchise until recently with the Neve Campbell stuff and just refusing to pay her for some reason, even though it's her fucking franchise. Um, yeah, like these new movies have just started up some drama a little bit that hasn't really been there, and it's come to a big front, and now we're kind of at this really weird position where it's just like, what's going to happen? Like what is going on? What are they going to try to do to get the community to come back around? Because everybody is very, very upset and very negative, and rightfully so. I mean, this is bullshit. Like they really ruined this new trilogy. Like it's not even going to be a trilogy anymore. They're going to have to take a massive pivot. I mean, it's not like you can finish off the story of a trilogy without the 2 main characters. So it's like we got 2 out of the 3 movies, and now we're just going to get some random fucking thing slapped on. Like, I don't know what they're going to try to do. I really don't. Like, I guess we'll hop into topic 2, which is going to be, how to save Scream 7, how to get me and the community back on board, possibly. You know, everybody kind of wants different things. Everybody feels differently. Um, like I said, I'm not on the whole boycott the movie thing because I still love this franchise. I'd be lying if I said I'm not going to go see it. I will, but it's very, very depressing. I guess I don't know. It's just not. It's not fun. It's not a good feeling right now. Me and everybody else are very, very concerned to see what happens. I mean, this is really bad. Like, how are you going to turn this around? So we have an article from Variety talking about, I guess the plans they have going on to try to move forward. So we'll take a little gander at that. But let's see what they have to say. So Scream 7 faces full creative reboot after losing Jenna Ortega, Neve Campbell, and Patrick Dempsey on wishlist. Not even Ghostface could see this twist coming. The Scream franchise lost 2 stars this week, putting the 7th film in the series in a creative conundrum. According to sources familiar with the project, Variety broke the news that Melissa Barrera was fired by Spyglass, the film's producer, in recent days over social media messages that deemed to be anti-Semitic, specifically posts regarding the Israel-Hamas war. That decision was made after the company was notified that Jenna Ortega, whose star has risen considerably since she joined beloved Wes Craven's horror series, would not return due to a scheduling conflict with the second season of her smash Netflix hit Wednesday. Barrera and Ortega play sisters in the films. So that also brings up an interesting development. And I'm not the first person to say this. I forget who I heard it from first. I think it was in a YouTube video. But so to me, that reads like they said they basically fired Melissa after they found out that Jenna's not coming back. To me, that reads like, well, since we're losing Jenna, that's already going to lose some box office for us. So instead of paying Melissa a shit ton of money, let's basically get rid of her, start over, and then, it seems like they're going to try to just give Neve tons of money, which, I mean, I am cool with. But let's keep reading. That's kind of like, it seems like they're like, oh, Jenna's not coming back. All right, let's just wipe the slate clean instead of paying these people. Fuck it, That's kind of what it sounds like and feels like. It's like, well, we lost the biggest name on the new cast, so let's just kind of wipe the slate clean so we don't have to pay these people. And let's just do something else, which sucks. Because you could have made a movie without Tara, Like, I think you can make a Scream movie without Tara, but you can't make a Scream movie without Sam in this new timeline, this new series of films, because Sam is the main character. Like, if they would have wrote out Tara, I would have been okay with it. I don't think it would have been the end of the world, but losing Sam is huge. So once they made that decision, I mean, it's basically just, fucking abandoned ship from there. I don't know what's going to happen. So, backlash to Barrera's ouster has been intense, with the film's director Christopher Landon reacting on the events surrounding her exit. It seems some fans like the planned sequel was collapsing in real time. However, even before Barrera was fired, plans for the next Scream were being retooled. Ortega's exit had required the creative team to make some alterations according to individuals with knowledge, but there was still hopes that the actress might be convinced to come back for some sort of cameo. So they were rewriting stuff and reworking stuff because Jenna couldn't come back already. But then obviously you lose Sam and you gotta just basically trash it, That no longer seems to be in the cards. Another source familiar with the franchise disputed this, saying Ortega was never in the mix for the new film. So it's a whole bunch of rumors. Some people were saying like maybe she was going to be in it. Some people were saying there was no way she was going to be in it. And then some people were saying like maybe just a tiny role. So who knows? Who the fuck knows? But Jenna's gone. James Vanderbilt and Guy Busick, the writers of the previous 2 Scream installments, will now work on a fresh draft to present to filmmakers. Some set pieces and twists may be preserved, but the movie will need to find new protagonists. Ortega and Barrera signed on for 2 Scream movies and fulfilled those obligations with installments 5 and 6. Interesting. So they only signed on for 2 and not a trilogy. That is interesting. I didn't hear that. Okay. That is interesting. They would have needed new deals for the 7th chapter. Yeah, so it seems like it's kind of true. Like, instead of we're going to have to pay these people more now because Scream 5 and 6 were huge, let's just get rid of, Jenna's not coming back. Fine, that saves us money. And then let's just not pay Melissa. We'll fire her. That's kind of what it looks like to me. So who will have to do battle with the mass killer? The Scream movies have a bench of characters who are still alive or who could be reanimated. It's a horror movie after all, and the joy of Scream is that it does not bury its dead too deep. These include Neve Campbell and Courtney Cox, the original stars of the series. Campbell appeared in 2022 Scream, but opted not to return 2023 Scream 6 over salary dispute. Producers are keen for her to reclaim bleh, word vomit. Producers are keen to see her reclaim her iconic character, Sidney Prescott. Another possibility could be Patrick Dempsey, who had a scene-stealing turn in 2000's Scream 3. None of these actors have been in active negotiations thus far. Spyglass had no comment. The hope had been for Scream 7 to hit theaters in 2025. Although the producers are essentially starting from scratch, that release date still seems feasible if Landon and the writers can find another scary story to tell. Scream films do not require extensive visual effects and can be produced quickly. All it takes is a bloody good idea. So, basically, they have to start the script from scratch. They have to figure out who's actually going to be in this fucking movie, what the movie's going to be about, and go from there. And that is very worrisome to me because the constant that's made Scream like the best horror franchise, in my opinion, is the characters. You always have great characters coming back movie to movie, The original 3 and Scream 4 and even 5, you always had Sidney, Dewey, Gale. And then you had some really good side characters around them. Most of the time. And then 6, we lose Dewey. We lose Sidney. We keep Gale. But then we take the core 4 from Scream 5 and build them up and make them really fun characters to watch and just very enjoyable, good additions to the whole franchise. And obviously we all thought we were going to keep carrying on with them, because we kind of figured, well, they're not going to pay Neve. Dewey's gone. We'll probably keep getting Gale until they kill her off. And then, we got Hayden Panettiere back as Kirby in Scream 6, which was cool. But, the core 4 was kind of, that was the new Holy Trinity, And now losing 2 of the 4, I don't know what they're going to do. I have no idea. I have no clue. But I do have ideas of what they could do. Now, this is my opinion. This is what would get me excited. I'm still nervous for how, I'm still nervous to see, the change from Scream 6 to Scream 7 because we're not only changing directors now, but we're basically rebooting again because we lost our leads. So that's a built-in worry right off the bat. I don't know what the story's going to be like. I don't know where the movies are going to be set. I don't even know what characters we're going to be following. But on paper, the announcements that would make me excited would be obviously number 1 being, yes, Neve Campbell coming back as Sidney. That would have got me excited no matter what, with Sam Montero or without. Bringing Neve back would get me excited regardless, because like I said in my other podcast episode when I was talking about meeting the Screamcast, like Sidney and Dewey are pretty much tied as my favorite characters of the franchise. Some days I like Dewey a little bit more. Some days I like Sidney a little bit more. I love them both pretty much equally. So bringing Sidney back would instantly make me happy. Um, I've wanted Patrick Dempsey to come back since Scream 3, especially now that we found out that I forget his character's name. Is it Kincaid? Officer Kincaid? I think that is his name. Since we found out that Kincaid and Sidney are married, now I really want to see him come back and kind of just get a glimpse of like what their life is like. So if we were able to get both of them back, I think that could be cool. Just to kind of see, you know, like grown up Sidney, what's going on with her. So that could be interesting. But getting into the more not as basic choices of what they could do to make me excited. Obviously, I want Sidney back. And I'll take Kincaid as well, especially after Patrick Dempsey was just great in the Thanksgiving movie that just came out. He was really, really good in that movie. So it'd be cool to actually see him come back to Scream all these years later. So the two of them would be great. I would really like to see Hayden Panettiere come back as Kirby. I think we need to keep her, you know. Now that we're losing people, we need to hang on to the ones we got. And I like I said, I don't really know how this would all work story-wise. I'm just saying, like, these are the announcements that would get me excited. So bring back Neve, bring back Patrick Dempsey, bring back Hayden Panettiere, and then the main one that's like my break the panic glass. It's time for Stu to come back. It's time for Matthew Lillard to come back to Scream. The time is now. The time is now. If we don't get Matthew Lillard now, we're never getting him in Scream. And you can, like, that's a guarantee. That is a Charles Barkley guarantee. Like, there is no way if we do not get Matthew Lillard back for this movie, he will not be in another Scream movie. Because if there is one thing that could bring Scream fans back to the franchise with some excitement, I think it would be that. Now, that wouldn't be exciting for everybody. There's a lot of people out there that hate people like me that want Stu to come back. But fuck that. We need something like that right now to just bring some hype back to this movie. And bringing Matthew Lillard in as Stu would do that for me. Like, honestly, if the only announcements we get is like you don't even get Patrick Dempsey and maybe you don't even get Hayden Panettiere, but you get Neve and you get Matthew Lillard, I'm there. That's, you know, it's not great, but that's good enough for me because I've been begging for Sidney to come back. I was really upset that she wasn't in 6, and I've been begging for Stu to come back. So if I could get the two of them, I'll be cool. I'll be okay with that. But in the back of my head the entire time, I will be thinking how I would have liked to have seen Stu with the new characters and Sidney all together. But if I can get some more Stu and Sidney, I will 100% take it. Like I said, story, I don't know what they would do with that. I have no idea how they would make that work. I am a fan of like the whole cult of Ghostface idea where like Ghostface just kind of turns into like a cult type thing. I think that could be kind of fun and interesting where you just have a ton of ghost faces, you know, not 1, 2, or 3, like a cult, like an actual like group. And maybe it being like orchestrated by Stu would be pretty fucking cool. Now, is that practical? I don't know. I do not know. I'm not a screenwriter. I don't write scripts, you know. I am a film student. I've wrote scripts, but I'm not, you know, I can't come up with, you know, a story that can justify all of that. I don't know. But just to me, those ideas sound cool. They would get me excited and intrigued to see this movie instead of angry and pissed off like I am right now. If I hear the words Neve Campbell and Matthew Lillard are back, I'm there. I'm happy. I'm not 100% happy, but I'm very happy. Um, two of my three favorite characters in the franchise coming back, I will take it. Um, so that's like my short list right there. Is I think you bring back Sidney, you bring back Officer Kincaid with Sidney, you bring back Kirby, you bring back Stu, you bring back Gale, and then I don't really know what you do with Chad and Mindy. I don't know. They might not want to come back after Jenna and Melissa, you know, leaving. I don't know. Them I don't know. I would love to see my boy Chad come back. I love Mason Gooding as Chad. I think Jasmine Savoy Brown is great as Mindy too. I would really enjoy seeing both of them come back somehow, but I would not be surprised if they just don't come back because of Jenna and Melissa. So they're kind of the whole thing. I haven't heard anything, about either one of them, like their stance on what's going on right now. I'm assuming if we're just losing Sam and Tara, we're probably gonna not get Chad and Mindy. But who knows? Stranger things have happened. I don't really know. Like, if they're in it, I would be kind of surprised if they both choose to not be in it, or if they just get like fired too. I wouldn't be surprised about that. Like, I really don't know what they're gonna do with Chad and Mindy. I'm leaning towards them probably not being brought back, but if there's a way that they can be worked in, I would enjoy seeing that because I really enjoy both their characters. So that I really have no idea. I don't know what is on the table for Chad and Mindy. My gut kind of feels like they're gonna probably try to do a more OG-ish type Scream movie and just kind of stick with the legacy characters and kind of just completely ignore 5 and 6 character wise. But the one thing that kind of pisses me off now is like, if we're just gonna like ignore 5 and 6 now, it's like the only point of those movies was really to, spoilers again, like the only important things that would happen then is that really Dewey died. And that's kind of it. And we found out that Billy had a kid. So I like, it's just so weird to me. Like, you have such a great continuity between 1, 2, and 3 being like a real trilogy. 4 fits into the franchise nicely. And then even 5 fit into the franchise pretty nicely. And then 6 was kind of starting this new chapter with these new characters. And now that we're kind of abandoning that, like 5 and 6 are just going to be kind of rendered semi-useless except for killing off Dewey in the grand scheme of things. Because if we're just going to ignore the new characters and the only significant thing that happened is that Dewey died, which fucking blows. So really, and it's going to start getting ridiculous, and this isn't what I want for Scream. One of my favorite things about Scream is that it's just one timeline, one continuity, because I think all the different timelines and continuities get a little ridiculous after a while, like Halloween having fucking 3 timelines and shit. Like, it gets crazy. The only thing I'm almost thinking is like, maybe you just make a direct sequel to 4 and ignore 5 and 6. Just say this is like a new reboot, kind of like 5 and 6 didn't happen, and give me David Arquette too. That's like the only thing that's like my dream, I guess, is like, and I still don't even know how I feel about it. But to me, it's just like, if we're going to completely abandon what we've been building with 5 and 6, then you might as well just say, fuck it. We're doing a reboot and we're going to, just bring back Dewey. We're going to bring back everybody. We're going to have Sidney, Dewey, Gale. We'll bring back Kirby, and we'll bring back Stu, and we'll bring back Kincaid with Sidney. Now that would be interesting. I think that's the more dangerous of the two choices, though, because I think if you just bring back Sidney and you bring Stu to 7, I think that's much safer than saying, yeah, you know what, we're gonna completely fucking abandon those last 2 movies entirely, reboot it, but you get Dewey back. Like, I don't know. Like, to me, I would almost prefer that just because I fucking love Dewey and I love David Arquette. So I would do anything to get Dewey back. So at this point, if we're just going to abandon those movies, I say just go balls to the wall, reboot it, act like 5 and 6 didn't happen, give me Dewey back, give me Sidney, Gale, bring back Stu, the panic button is Stu, and we'll go from there. Kirby, that's what I would want, like deep down in my heart. Because like I said, like, it's just crazy to me that we set up this new trilogy and now we're not going to get it. So instead of like just randomly, like, to me it would just feel weird going from 6 where like Sydney's not in it at all to then now she's like the main character in 7. Like, that would just feel weird to me. Like, if you're sitting down and you're binging all of the movies right now, like from 1 to 6, they make sense. Because 5 was the whole passing of the torch movie to the new core 4. But then it's like, nope, now we're going to pass the torch back to Sidney. Like, so to me, like I said, I didn't want this for Scream. I like that Scream was just one story, one continuity, one timeline. But since we're just disregarding 5 and 6, I say fuck it, reboot it, give me Dewey back. And then, like I said, Sidney, Gale, Kirby, Stu. Just go crazy with it. That's what I would want. Will that happen? No. I really don't think it will. I would be shocked if they fully reboot Scream like that. Where they're like, yeah, those last 2 movies we just made? Yeah, fuck them. They don't exist. New timeline. I think it would be ballsy, and I don't know how people would react to that. I really don't know. I think some people like me would be happy. I think a lot of people would be pissed. But I don't really know. And that's just the thing. Like, there's really no great, flawless solution to this problem. There's not. They fucked up royally. They really did. So there's not just one easy fix to the situation. You really have to do some digging and figure this out. Like, I really don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what they're going to do. You say you want to bring back Neve and you say you want to bring back Patrick Dempsey. You're going to have to spend a lot of money to bring them back. And then you're going to they're going to have to really just, they're going to have to suck it up and they're going to have to spend a lot of money. They're going to have to realize now that, like, just to even get people in the Scream franchise now because of how the last cast was just treated like shit, basically. Why should Neve come back? You already treated her like shit and said that she's not worth the money, even though she's the face of the franchise. And now you just booted out your 2 new leads. The money might not be enough. Maybe she'll just say, like, nah, you treat them like shit and you already treated me like shit, so why should I come back? Unless she's like, pay me even more and then I'll come back. Like, they're going to have to open up their wallets. Like, I don't know what. I don't know. Like, I really don't know. Like, people might just turn down the movie on principle. Like, it's a really tricky situation. So they're going to have to shell out a lot of money and accept that they're going to have to do that. Or they're just going to have to sell Scream, Spyglass. They might just have to sell it. Because, like, I really don't know. Like, there's just... Like, I don't know how many actors would be willing to jump into the franchise right now after they just saw how Melissa was treated. And then... I mean, I don't think Jenna was treated bad, but, like, I don't know. Like, who knows? It's just a really weird situation. Like, I really can't recall another franchise that's had a problem like this where, like, they just fire the lead, like, in the middle of a trilogy. Like, I can't recall anything like that ever happening. Like, maybe I'm drawing a massive blank and I just can't think of it, but I really can't remember something like this happening before on this grand of a scale too. Like it's not some indie horror franchise or like this is Scream, one of the most iconic franchises in horror, and they're just having a massive just disaster right now. Um so I don't really know, like that's the, like they're not going to make everybody happy. There's people that are going to be pissed no matter what they do. It's really like I don't know. It's really like I it's a tough situation. It really is. Um but like I said, I think for me at this point you might as well just reboot it. You might as well just do it. And you're going to get backlash for that too. But you're going to get backlash no matter what you do, really. Like it's just they dug themselves a deep hole. I wouldn't even be surprised if Christopher Landon found a way to leave the movie, honestly. Like you sign on for a movie and then just everything crumbles and you're like, well, now I'm not directing the movie that I was gonna direct, so like why am I even here? I'm out. Like I really don't know. I do not know what's gonna happen. It's just so bad. It's such a bad situation. There's there's just so many factors and things that could happen that's kind of hard to predict what's actually going to happen. Like I think they will probably get Neve back, probably. But where do you go from there? Like like I said, it's just it won't make a whole lot of sense going from Scream 6 to a Sydney based movie. And like are you going to, and if you don't reboot it, like are you going to address Sam and Tara, or are you just gonna act like they don't exist? like what do you do in that situation if you don't reboot it and you just make Scream 7 in the same timeline? Like I really don't know. Like they kind of just made that random offhand remark in 6, like, oh, Sidney sends her love. She says hi, dude. Sorry that you're getting chased by Ghostface again, Bob. I'm chilling, dude. Like are they gonna do that? Like, oh, like Gail's gonna show. Oh, by the way, Sam says hi. That's it. Like what are they gonna do? I have no idea. If they keep it in the same timeline, like, are you just gonna ignore it? Because that's my whole thing. Is like if we're just gonna ignore it, then reboot it and give me Dewey. So, and I feel like they would probably try to ignore it because if they brought it up, I feel like they get roasted for it. And I feel like they don't want to get roasted for it. I feel like they want to try to make Scream 7 and try to act like none of this happened, even though none of us are going to forget that this happened. So that's kind of why I'm leaning towards the whole reboot thing. Just pick up where 4 left off. I know some people were even, or I heard like 1 or 2 people say maybe even bring back Jill from Scream 4, Emma Roberts. I don't know about that. I'm not like that's the whole thing is like I don't want Scream to lose its integrity where we just keep bringing back these characters that were like basically killed. I think you can do that one time and I would cash that in with Stu. I would not cash it in with Joe personally. I think Stu, from like just a publicity standpoint, like Matthew Lillard would be the bigger draw to the Scream fans because that's obviously a massive, massive callback to the first movie, having him come back. I think that would get a lot of people excited. Like I said, it might not work for everybody because there are people that don't want Stu to come back, which I think you're nuts because Matthew Lillard's amazing, but you can't just bring back like every like past killer, And I would much rather see Stu come back than Jill. I think Jill served her purpose in 4 perfectly. I thought she was really good. I thought Emma Roberts did a good job. But to me, like I think Jill is way more dead than Stu, I guess. I mean, and Stu's pretty dead too, but I would just want him to come back because I love Matthew Lillard so fucking much. But like, I think Stream 4 is cool. Like, you're bringing back Kirby. We can't bring back everybody from every movie type thing, Like, we can keep maybe the spirit, like the ghost Billy from Scream 1, because I really enjoyed seeing Skeet in 5 and 6, even if it was just for a couple seconds every movie. It's just really cool seeing Billy come back. And that's also a big part of why I was really like into Sam's character, is like, it's just, it's it's a clusterfuck. I don't know. I really don't know what you do. I don't know. It's almost like you shouldn't fire the lead of your movies. Like I don't know. You had such an interesting story with Sam going, being like the long lost daughter of Billy, having like murderous psycho tendencies. That's not your standard final girl. Like, she was a really cool character, and who knows what they could have done with her. I like the idea of maybe Sam eventually becoming a killer at some point, even though it would have been a little not obvious, but it would have been predictable because like the fans have been talking about it so much. But I think that would have been a cool angle. Or maybe not. Maybe you just keep her, fighting her dark urges. I don't know. Like, there are so many possibilities with these new characters. And the chemistry with each other was just so great. And we're losing all of that. So I really don't know, man. I feel like I'm kind of just saying the same things over and over again. But I really wanted to just get my thoughts out there, my opinions out there as a massive Scream fan. It's a dark time. It's a dark time to be a Scream fan. And I'm sure this will definitely not be the last time we talk about Scream 7 on the Bravo cast and on the channel in general. Once the announcements start coming in, we're going to start covering them. But my opinion as of right now is that I think for me personally, what would make me the most excited as a Scream fan, what would bring me back on board potentially, as crazy as it sounds, I never thought I'd ever ask for a reboot of one of my favorite franchises. But I think what would bring me back on board would be completely wiping the slate clean, completely starting fresh from Scream 4. Give me Sidney. Give me Dewey. Give me Gale. Give me Kirby. Give me Kincaid. And then bring back Stu. That's how I'm feeling right now. Could that be a disaster? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I think anything that they could be cooking up right now could be disaster. Like, I don't know. I really want to be excited. I want to be hopeful, but there's just really not much to cling on to right now. Like, yeah, I'd be very happy to see Sidney come back, and I love Neve. I'd love to see her come back. But this isn't how I wanted it to happen. It would be bittersweet. It would be very bittersweet, I guess. So, hopefully, the writers are writing their asses off. That's what they get paid to do. Hopefully, they're cooking up something magnificent, and we're going to be blown away. But right now, it's kind of hard to just be positive about Scream 7. There's nothing to be positive about right now. We basically don't have a cast or a story or a script. So there's really nothing to there's nothing to latch onto right now. And then I was already getting nervous for the Scream sequels because a big part of Scream movies that I feel like can be overlooked sometimes is the commentary that they make, you know, the statements they make, the meta-ness, the message. I feel like Scream 5, you know, like the motivation and like the whole message of Scream 5 was really, really good. I know it didn't work for some people, but it worked for me. And then Scream 6, I don't hate it, but like it just felt a little less like, okay. You know, like going online and destroying people. Kind of like how they're doing to Melissa right now. Uh, you know, I don't know, like what are we gonna like? What is the movie gonna have to say? What are the motivations gonna be? And how is it all gonna work? I really don't know. And I'm scared. I am scared. I want to be optimistic. I want to be positive. I love Scream so much, but it's just it's just not looking too great right now. It's just not, just to be honest. But yeah, I don't know. I really do not know. I mean, that's kind of all I had to say. Like, I don't really have anything else to say about Scream 7. You know, can't really say too much until we start getting updates and news. Hopefully, it's good news. You know, hopefully I get some of the things I've been wanting. It's going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out. I really genuinely have no idea what they're going to do. So it'll be interesting to see over the coming weeks what decisions are made. Um yeah, I don't know. And then for some reason like there's always just tons of crazy rumors around the Scream community that just randomly get spread. So you got to be kind of careful with what you see. Like I've been seeing people talk about like, oh, they're gonna connect it to the TV shows. Like, no, the fuck, they're not. No, they're not. Like, stop spreading that. That's not gonna happen. Like, it's just a cesspool right now. Like, who knows? Who knows? I I just hope they figure something out. What? I don't know. But hopefully they figure something out. And hopefully it's something decent that will get me back on board because I don't like this feeling of like not being excited about one of my favorite franchises. You know, I went through it with Star Wars for a little bit. I'm going through it with Marvel right now where like I really don't give a fuck about what Marvel's doing. I don't want that to happen to Scream when Scream has been known for its consistency and quality. So to have something like this happen that could potentially fuck that up is very scary and sad. So I guess that's kind of my overall feelings on the whole situation. Uh it's not good. It's not good. They can get me back on board, but I think like what I want will not happen. Exactly. I think maybe some things that I want will happen, but I'm not going to get everything I want because that's just not going to happen. I think what I want is too much. I think it's too much of a risk because the word reboot is scary. So I think they're going to just try to continue it, act like nothing happened, and kind of go from there. But we'll see over the coming days. We shall see. Um, before I head out, I thought about it. I should have brought them in here. I was gonna just kind of show you guys like some of the Blu-rays I got for Black Friday, because like fuck it, you know. I still have to put out my actual Blu-ray collection video. I've been working on that video for so long. I haven't worked on it in a while, but I spent a lot of time making that video and working on it. I want to get that out. Um, but I guess just to get this to at least an hour, I'll grab my little bag of Blu-rays that I got so I can show you guys what I got for Black Friday. Because I was thinking about doing it next week, but I was like, but this is like Black Friday weekend, so like I might as well just do it now. I'm probably not getting anything else. So this will be like the final haul. Like the only other thing I ordered that hasn't come yet is I ordered a new Bluetooth speaker for myself, because I've had one for like shit, that thing's probably like 5 years old now. And it's a little fucky wucky. So I got myself a new speaker, but all the movies that I wanted I got. So I guess I'll just show you guys that real quick and then we'll call it. Because that's something else that kind of pissed me off, was Best Buy announcing that they're not gonna sell like Blu-rays moving forward, which really fucking sucks, because man, I've been going to Best Buy and just looking at their movies since I was like in middle school. So the fact that that's just not going to be a thing I can do anymore, like really makes me upset. It makes me feel old. Because in my heart, I'm still an old man. I love my physical media. I don't like digital movies. I'm like Christopher Nolan. I'm like Christopher Nolan in that way. I just like holding it in my hand, having it in my collection. No one can take it from me. Like it's just I'm old school like that. Like I just like, even video games too. I buy physical editions of my games most of the time. I'm a little bit more lenient on games because I think games are more convenient digitally. Like movies, I have to have the disc. I have to. So we're just kind of going the order of how they are in this bag. I didn't get all of them at Best Buy, but I got most of them at Best Buy. So the first one I did get Wakanda Forever. Let me get rid of the whole Scream 7 thing. So we're just gonna wrap up the show with this right now. So I did get Wakanda Forever. I do enjoy this movie. I only saw it the one time in theaters, just because it is very long. It's very heavy. I haven't really had that much of an urge to rewatch it, but I did like it, so I wanted to add it to my Marvel collection. I did think it was a good movie. And then also one that I want to rewatch, especially because I have to make my end of the year list. Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I also really enjoyed this movie. I don't know why my camera's like not focusing right now. There we go. I really enjoyed this movie. It's probably my holy fuck, I'm forgetting how to talk now. It's my least favorite Guardians movie, but I still really enjoyed it. I'm definitely gonna rewatch this one soon, just so I can like try to lock it in on my best movies of the year list. And like I said in like a past stream that wasn't a Bravo cast, like I used to just buy every single Marvel movie that came out just because I collected them all. I don't do that anymore. Now I just get the ones I like. So I actually like Guardians 3 and I like Wakanda Forever, so I got those. And now my non-Marvel stuff. Had to pick up Barbie. I almost got this when it first came out, but there wasn't like a special edition that I wanted or anything, and I kind of knew this was going to be like a Black Friday deal movie. I think I got it for $10, which is kind of crazy since considering it just came out. Like I'm pretty sure most of these were like $10. Except for like the last two that weren't Black Friday deals, it just kind of came out and I got them. But yeah, I need to rewatch this as well. Also, just to kind of lock it in on my best of the year list. I did really enjoy Barbie. I think it's maybe a little like overrated, I guess. But I still really, really like it. Ryan Gosling's fucking great in that movie. You can watch my Barbie review and you can watch reviews of all these movies. Actually, I made a review of Wakanda Forever, Guardians 3, and Barbie. If you want to know my full thoughts on it. Then this one, I've been waiting to get Training Day for a while. I was gonna get the Blu-ray, but the Blu-ray on Amazon was like really expensive for some reason, so I passed up on it. I'm happy I did because I got the 4K for $10, I think, on at Best Buy. I love this movie. I love Denzel. I love Ethan Hawke. Classic movie. So good. I've been waiting to add that to my collection, so I was super happy that the 4K was on such a great sale. Then this last one, I actually saw Dune for the first time a few months ago, and I really enjoyed it. I think it's maybe a little too long. It's a little slow at parts, but visually it's stunning. I think the story's really good. I think the acting's really good. And I'm going to give this one a rewatch, obviously, before Dune 2 comes out. But I love Denis Villeneuve. He's one of my favorite directors of all time. I love his movies. So I'm definitely going to watch this again, and I'm excited for Dune 2. I want to see where they go from there. And now this is like my last Black Friday deal that I got. But I got the Saw 8 movie collection for, I believe, $9 on Amazon. So it's got 8 Saw movies for like 9 or $10. So like $1 and change for every one of the movies, which is kind of insane. So it has Saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the final chapter, and Jigsaw. I've only seen Saw 1, 2, and X. So I'm excited to watch the rest of these. Maybe I'll do like a franchise ranking once I watch all of them. But I am excited to watch all these movies. I love Saw 1. I think Saw 2 is pretty good. And then I also loved Saw X. I really, really like this movie. I was kind of surprised by how much I really love this movie. I also made a review of this. If you want to see my review, it's on my channel. Also, again, this I keep saying I'm gonna have to watch this movie again so I can lock it in on my best of the year list. But this one, definitely one of the best horror movies of the year, if not the best horror movie of the year. It's between this and Scream 6 for me. I really, really enjoyed Saw X a lot. Some crazy ass shit in that movie. Really enjoyed it. And then I got this cool special edition of Oppenheimer from Walmart. I was on a mission for this. I was gonna pre-order it, but Walmart ships with FedEx, and FedEx doesn't know my house fucking exists, and they deliver my shit to the wrong address. So I wasn't gonna order it and have it delivered to Narnia. So I was just hoping that my Walmart would get it. They did. There was only one left when I got there at fucking 9 in the morning. So apparently a lot of people wanted this too. But it's a really cool special edition. It's a 4K and Blu-ray. I just watched this a couple nights ago with my family. Then you've got cool little artwork there. And then it folds out. And you have more artwork. Awesome. Absolutely fantastic movie. It absolutely holds up out of the theater. I love this fucking movie. I think it's one of Christopher Nolan's best movies of all time. Honestly, I'm gonna glaze Christopher Nolan, but one of the best movies I think I've seen just in general, like on a filmmaking level. It's just a fucking phenomenal movie. It has the Blu-ray, it has the 4K, it has a bonus disc that I might even watch that tonight, low-key. I might watch the bonus features for this movie tonight. So yeah, that's my little Black Friday Blu-ray haul. That's probably gonna be it. Unless like some crazy Cyber Monday deals or something pop up, like on Amazon or something. So that's like possibly that's at least my last physical Blu-ray haul in person, I guess, which is sad to think about because there won't be Blu-rays at Best Buy next year. And I went to Target today and they basically had nothing already. So Target's been getting rid of their Blu-rays for a while now. They just have like vinyls and CDs and bullshit, but they don't have DVDs or they don't have Blu-rays. I don't care about DVDs, but they don't have Blu-rays or 4Ks, which is crazy to me that vinyls are more popular than Blu-rays, but I don't know. It is what it is. So yeah, that might be the last physical Black Friday Blu-ray haul I have. I mean, I hope they still get sold online at least so I can keep getting my movies physically. It's probably just going to turn into a bunch of Amazon shopping, I guess, like everything else. But yeah, I guess that's going to do it for the Bravo cast tonight. The shortest one we've had so far, but really I just wanted to get on here and voice my frustrations with Scream 7 and kind of let you guys know how I'm feeling about that and what I would like to see happen. If you have any thoughts on what's going on with Scream 7 and what you would like to see, put them in the comments below. I'm always interested to hear what you guys are thinking. And then if you guys had any like Black Friday Blu-ray pickups, let me know what you guys got as well. But that will do it for tonight. We'll have a short one today. I'm probably going to be streaming tomorrow, like a regular stream. I don't know what I'm going to be playing yet, but I probably will be live tomorrow as well. But that's going to do it for the Bravo cast tonight. Thank you guys for coming out and watching. I really appreciate it as always. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your night tonight. Have a good day tomorrow, and hopefully I will catch you guys tomorrow. Bravo 6 going dark. Take care, guys. Have a good one.